Dehancer have now launched their very own standalone desktop program, which is fantastic news because it means we no longer have to use Dehancer's film emulation Lightroom plugin to get that film look to our digital photos. We can use it as a standalone program on its own without an Adobe subscription. The standalone app also comes with some great upgrades that improve the workflow of using Dehancer to edit your photos, particularly when you want to batch edit your photos. And I'll come to those improvements and upgrades throughout this video. But before we get started, I have to let you know I am on the Dehancer affiliate program, which means if you enjoy this video and you want to purchase Dehancer, you can use the link in the video description below and get yourself a little bit of discount. If you use that link, I might make a little bit of commission. With that being said, all the thoughts in this video are my own. And another thing to let you know, the version of Dehancer Desktop I'll be using to run this tutorial was a pre-release beta version, and there may have been some updates since I've published this video. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. And here we have the Dehancer Desktop start screen, and you can see on the left hand side we've got access to all our storage. So we've got the Mac hard drive and the free external hard drives that I use. I'm going to go into my photo hard drive, and you can see that I organise all my files by what camera I've shot them on. For this demo, we're going to use some images I've shot on my Sony, and I'm going to use the photos that I've taken at Staithes in North Yorkshire, and we'll pick the ones that I took in the town. So we'll select my raw files, and this is just how I organise my photos in my hard drive storage, and you'll obviously have your own storage system. Once we've selected all the photos that we want to edit, we can right click on one and click add images to a new project, and then we'll just title it Project Staithes North Yorkshire. Pop enter on that and it'll take us across to our projects page, and you can see the photos that we've added are all here. We've got a project Staithes North Yorkshire. If we wanted to add some more projects, just click add, title project. We could call this one Morocco. Going to go back to my folders here and show you just how easy it is to build a different project. Now my photos from Morocco were shot on my Fujifilm X100F. Go to Morocco, raw files, we've got them here. We select some of the favourites again and click add to project, and now we've got a drop down menu. We've got Morocco and Staithes. We simply select Morocco and it adds them over to this new project. So as you've built more projects and worked on more albums, they'll appear here in the projects tab. So now we know how to set up and build a new project. Let's jump in to the Dehancer film emulation presets. To start the editing process, we just open up one of the images, and you can see our editing screen opens up, and on the left hand side we've got our Dehancer film stock presets. So as we scroll through, these are in alphabetical order. So we get to like the cine still. You can see it's added a ton of halation in the highlights, a classic characteristic of cine still film. Moving down, we've got our Fujifilm stocks, Fujichrome Provia, Fujichrome Velvia, Fujicolor C200, etc. And as we keep scrolling, we'll eventually get to the classic Ilford HP5 Plus, and then we'll move on to our Kodak film stocks, the classic Kodak Gold 200, Portra 400, a favourite of mine, and another favourite Kodak Pro image. And you can see that there's absolutely loads more film stocks to choose from. For this particular edit, I'm going to go with the Fujicolor C200 film stock preset. I think the tones and the colours really suit the mood and capture the vibes of this day. And you can see just by adding it, it already looks really, really good. Once I've picked a film stock, we can use these different view modes to make things a little bit clearer for us. I'm going to click this one here, which will hide the film stock presets. Up on the top here, we've got our before and after preview. If If we click that, it takes everything off and shows us that original raw file. We've obviously got the size, zoom in. Here we've got the histogram, which we can show and hide. And here we've got a really unique feature, which is the clipping, and this will show us if any of our highlights are blown out. Now we could just put one of the Dehancer film emulation presets on all of the photos in the project and call it done. However, there is so much more that we can do inside Dehancer to really dial in the look that we want. So let's take a look at the editing process and all the different tools that are available. What I'm going to work on first is the characteristics of the film stock, and the reason I'm going to do this is because I want to apply it to all the images so that they are edited as a complete set. Now, what I mean by that are the characteristics such as grain, halation, bloom, and we'll also look at film damage and overscan, although I don't really use these two features. What we'll do first is we'll just switch them off. Now, the reason you can see these little red areas is this is our clipping showing us that these areas might be slightly blown out or overexposed. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through the edit. Now, first of all, film grain. You can see when I select it there, it adds all the grain. It's really apparent in the sky. But what I want to do is I usually like to tone this down a little bit. We can, of course, completely customize the film grain using these menus here. So I'm going to reduce the size and reduce the amount by quite a bit. That looks a little bit more natural to me. Next up, we've got halation. Now, halation is the red glow that I mentioned earlier, and as you can switch it on, you'll see it in the highlights, particularly on this metal fence post there, where the metal's catching the sun. You can see that glow appear here. Now, one of the really cool features in Dehancer Desktop that allows us to control the halation is this mask mode, and when we switch it on here, we can really see exactly what areas the halation is happening in, the very highlighted areas here. So as we adjust some of these, we can see exactly what areas are halating. So I'm just going to tone that down just a little touch, so there is only a very little in some of the most highlighted areas, and we'll just dial down the overall impact. Let's take that mask off and have a look. That just makes it look a little bit more realistic. Next up, we've got bloom, which is similar to halation. This is more of a white, soft glow around the highlights. So when we add that, you can see some of these highlights just seem to glow and pop a little bit. Gonna reduce it a little tiny touch. I never really want to overdo it with these film characteristics, but there is a way that we can control all of those all at once, and that is the overall output, so we can reduce the total impact down a little bit as well. Then we've got two features here that are fun to play with, but I don't really use them all that much myself, but let me show you them anyway. First up, film damage. Now, this allows us to add dust, hairs and scratches to the image, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ramp that right up. You can obviously mess with the colours and the size. So really made a mess of that image, and each time you click refresh, the dust and the scratches will randomly appear in different places. Personally, when I scan my real film negatives, I do my absolute best to make sure that there are no dust, scratches or hairs on my negatives. It can be quite difficult because I've got two cats, so I don't often like to use those on my Dehancer edits. Then we've got overscan, and this allows us to just add different types of sprocket holes to the image. You see, as we select the different modes, there's different things that we can go through there to do different sprocket holes. Again, it's something I don't really use personally. Now we've set our film characteristics, what I'm going to do is apply those to this individual image by clicking apply, and you can see on our film strip it's applied here. What I want to do is use that as a base on all the images in this project. So we'll right click, copy edits. We'll select all the other images in this project and click paste edit to the images. Being able to copy the customizations that we've made to the Dehancer film emulation across all the photos in our project is one of the benefits of the Dehancer Desktop program. But once we've done that, what we need to do is then look at each photo individually to make minor tweaks to things like the exposure so that they look great as a collection. First of all, we can see this photo here looks quite underexposed. Now the film stock simulation has been added. So I'm going to go and open the photo into the source and just adjust the exposure compensation, give that a little boost and get it looking how we want it. Click apply and we can go back and see how it looks as a whole against the other images. Next, this photo here looks a little bit dark in the shadow areas, so I'm just going to open this one up, go into the expand tab, and I'm just going to lift the blacks by adjusting the black point in the expand tool. Again, that looks pretty good. Click apply. Once I've sorted out the exposure of all my images, we'll take a look at cropping. So let's have a look at the first image here. We're going to open the cropping tool, and what I like to do is make sure the edges of my images are nice and tidy. So I'm going to pull this edge in here to remove any of these distracting parts, and I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit on that corner there, and that looks pretty good to me. We click apply and we simply work through the rest of the images in the film strip until we've cropped them all how we want them. Now, the reason that I've done the cropping of the images individually at the end of the editing process is because I found if I did my cropping of the first image, when I copied the edits that I'd made to things like the halation, the bloom, the grain, and the other characteristics across all of the images in the project, it also copied my crop, which I may not want copied across all of the images. So I've done that at the end. Now, I believe this is something that could be worked on and could be tweaked and maybe upgraded in a future version of the Dehancer Desktop program. It's just something that I found in testing the pre-release beta version. Anyway, once we've done all that, another benefit of Dehancer's desktop application is batch exporting. So let's take a look at that. Now, before I export all my edits, I'm just going to show you this little feature in the top corner where we can actually hide all of the edits and see our original raw files. Switch it back on and we can see all the work that we've done. Batch exporting is super easy. We're going to right click, select all, and click the export button in the top right hand corner. Here we've got our export settings. You can see 14 images selected to process from the project Staithes in North Yorkshire. Those 14 images have got edits and 0 images without edits. We've got our destination folder and our file format JPEG with quality up to 100. You can also export in a TIFF file. Once we've got those settings selected, simply press start processing and off we go. Once the processing has finished, we've got export complete. We can click reveal destination folder and there we go. If you've made it this far into the video, I'd like to say a massive thanks for watching it this far through. Remember, if you'd like to get your own copy of Dehancer Desktop, use the link and my discount code in the video description below to get a little bit of money off. That'd be proper appreciated. Now, this is my first tutorial on the Dehancer Desktop program, but I've done plenty of other videos on the Dehancer Lightroom plugin, and some of the things that I teach in those videos is very transferable into the Dehancer Desktop program. If you do jump into some of those videos, you may see that I've got a Dehancer Portra 400 custom preset that I've built. Now, that custom preset does work in the Dehancer Desktop program, but let me show you a little tweak that you might need to make if you do download it from my website and use it in the desktop app. I'm going to use this photograph that I took in Morocco to demonstrate how my Portra 400 preset works in Dehancer Desktop. So I've got it here in my favorites, and if I click it, you can see that in my opinion it really does overcook this image. So what I'd simply recommend doing is go into the output tool and dialing that right down by about 50%, and you can see that looks really good. So here's a before and here's an after, and there we go. And you can download that custom Portra 400 preset that I've made from my website, and the link is in the video description below. Anyways, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you've enjoyed it and you want to learn some more, check out this playlist of videos that I have done on the Dehancer film emulation software. And I'll see you in the next one.